Hello, hello, and welcome to Apollo Justice Ace Attorney Trilogy. Oh, it has been a while since I've played a Phoenix Wright game. Look at that dumb hair. So, I have played the first Apollo Justice game, but I haven't played either of the other ones. And it's been so long that I remember only two things. The first case and the last case. So these two, oh sorry. Actually no, I remember a lot more about this than I thought then. I know what goes on here, I know what goes on here, and I vaguely know what goes on here. But, you know, I've lost so many of the details that it's probably not going to matter. I remember that Apollo has a weird little bracelet that helps him focus by tightening on his wrist. Oh, who cares? Let's start it. Learn about Trump. April 20th, 9:30 a.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby number 3. Panicked. Palms sweaty. I can admit it. I'm nervous. Ah, good morning. Good morning, sir. You look tense, Justice. Wound up tight. Wound up, sir? No. I'm loose. I'm fine. That screeching noise. Is that your voice? I suppose it's to be expected. Your first trial, and it's a homicide. Homicide. Yeah. I guess justice doesn't start small, eh? I'm fine. I got up at 5 a.m. to do my Chords of Steel voice workout. I'm fine. That explains it. I did detect a certain rasping quality to your speech. Screech. Overdid it again. As you know, your client today is a good friend of mine. I wouldn't want to let him down, if you get my drift. Drift gotten, sir. I'm all over that drift. Whew! Oh boy, love that drift. As it happens, I dined with him the night of the murder. We can't let this case fall through. Yes! Yes! I'm fine, sir. One more thing. Don't say you're fine quite so much. People might take you the wrong way. I'll be preparing our case. You might want to introduce yourself to the client. My name is Apollo Justice. If it isn't clear already, I'm a new attorney. And today is my first trial. Not that I'm worried or anything. Who would be worried? Not me. Couldn't be me. The defendant has been accused of murder. My boss wants to help him out, of course. And so do I. I mean, there's no way he did it. Not him. No way. Whoa! Morning. Morning. It's all up to you today. First trial, nervous. Meeting him, cardiac arrest. I think I'm supposed to say something. Help? So you're fine. I'm fine. Mr. Fine, is it? I did remember you having an odd name. Well, we're off to a great start. Are you sure you're okay? I mean, with me? Mr. Gavin is a top-notch defensive attorney, and he's your friend, so why... You'll see. Huh? You can do it. Be confident. I'm really sorry this happened to you. I mean, It's time. Shall we? Yes, sir! Okay. Need to focus. First trial. Here comes justice. Of the Apollo flavor. 10 a.m. District Court Courtroom number 2. The court is now in session. The prosecution is ready, Your Honor. The defense is, fine. I mean ready, Your Honor. Mind going blank. Don't panic. Too late. Your name was Mr. Justice. And this is your first trial? Yes, Your Honor. But I'm fine. Really. Are you quite sure? Your voice sounds a bit strained. Mr. Gavin? Yes, Your Honor. I was under the impression that you would be heading up this case. That was my intention, yes. However, a defense attorney must always cede to his client's wishes. And my client specifically requested Mr. Justice. Well, of course he wants justice. But to entrust his case to this greenhorn, why? I do not exaggerate when I say that you're the best defense attorney in town, Mr. Gavin. Okay, so Gavin's got trial experience, fine. But does he have cords of steel? Then let's begin. The defendant may enter the courtroom. Pa. This is truly an unfortunate turn of events. I'm sorry we had to meet again under these circumstances. Long time no see, Mr. Wright. Let's put the past behind us, shall we? These days, I'm merely Phoenix Wright, piano player. Mr. Wright, how could this have happened? I won't speak of it further, then. If the prosecution would be so kind as to explain the charges. Mr. Payne? To think, I saw you enter this room a fresh attorney, and now I'll see you leave in chains. Haha, Winston Payne. Subtle as ever, I see. The crime occurred at the Borscht Bowl Club, a Russian restaurant. The defendant, Phoenix Wright, took the victim, a customer, and he hit him. Wham! On the head. Smack! Killed him cold. A customer at the restaurant, you say? And the defendant, you say he was a pianist for the club, it seems. Phoenix Wright. A pianist. A pianist. This is the weapon that took the victim's life. A bottle of definitely not bottle as evidence. There's the defendant, Mr. Wright's prints. Something to note, Justice. All evidence is filed in the court record. Hello, Duck. Welcome, and thank you for the grape emoji. Make a practice of checking it frequently. The court record, right! I've heard of that. Can I inspect it? I sure can. Bottle's completely empty. Grape juice. Ugh, how long has it been since I drank grape juice? Apparently, it's Mr. Wright's favorite drink. I wonder how well it goes with borscht. Oh, no clues here. Alright, well. Oh, hey, look, something else that's in the evidence, the court record. Well, I'll look at that later. Oh, never mind, he's telling me to look at it now. Fine. Smith's autopsy report. Hold on, I should look at the people. Christoph Gavin, boss at Gavin Law Offices, a first-rate defense attorney, and my trusted mentor. Phoenix Wright, pianist at the Borscht Bowl Club, formerly an ace defense attorney of some renown. Shady Smith, the victim in this case, a traveler, only recently back in country. It could definitely be shoddy, but knowing the Ace Attorney series, it's definitely supposed to be shady. I think I can read the bottle now. Excellent. Winston Payne, the prosecuting attorney. For all his experience, he lacks a certain presence. Go badge! Inspect the hell out of that badge. Oh, hey, look at that. Characters. There are many numbers like it, but this one is mine. Proof that I'm an attorney. To tell the truth, I get a happy feeling inside just looking at it, and that's why I'm gonna show it to everybody I can. Let's see, time of death, 2 a.m., April 17th. Death caused by a single blow to the forehead. Praise Atua. Badge. Age question marks. That's not suspicious at all. Estimated time of death, April 17th, between 1:45 and 2:15 a.m. Cause of death, cerebral hemorrhaging resulting from blunt trauma to the forehead. 1:45 to 2:15. Okay. Very weird that the chips are all different sizes. Well, not all different sizes, but there's like 2 sizes of chips. Normally they just be like different colors, right? Also, very interesting that for a blow to the forehead, he is wearing his hat still, and his hat is very much still intact. Alright. Can I click anywhere on here? No, I can't. Okay. Good enough. Right, just use E. Sounds like it's time for some hands-on action. So, the victim was a customer at this restaurant. But just who was this, shady Smith fellow? We believe he was a traveler, Your Honor. A traveler? According to his passport, he's been out of the country for a number of years. He had only recently returned to this country recently, though his place of residence is unclear. And he had some sort of connection with the defendant. That, too, is unclear at the present, Your Honor. We believe they first met at the Borscht Bowl Club on the night of the crime. They had only just met, then why murder? Perhaps the victim slighted the defendant's piano playing. That doesn't appear to have been the case. No, the motive had nothing to do with the defendant's lack of playing skill. Wow! At least, not piano playing. I'll let this photo explain what I mean. As we can see, a game of poker was in progress at the scene of the crime. Wait a second! Isn't poker gambling? That's a crime in and of itself. Indeed, it appears our defendant has fallen to become the basest sort of criminal. Whoa. I did not remember your voice being that high. Oh well. It is true that the defendant was engaged in a game of poker with the victim. It was only that, a game, in the purest sense. A competition, Your Honor. Competition, yes. You know, sometimes people play games for the sake of playing games rather than, you know, betting money. Yes, a test of wits, a silent clash of passions. Only the cards, their backs wreathed in blue flame, Oh, only the cards, their backs wreathed in blue flame, know the final outcome. They were playing gotcha together. So true. Come again? The cards on the table had blue backs, Your Honor. I believe the defense was waxing poetic in an attempt to mystify those present and impress women. That will be our first order of business here then. Impressing women. To find out more about this fatal game of cards. Very well, defendant. You will testify to the court about the poker competition held the night of the crime. My pleasure. This is it. My first trial. Here goes nothing. And dogs barking in the back. People are home. The competition. I am a pianist by trade, and I can hardly play at all. My real job is to take on interested customers at the poker table. The room where we play and the competition in there are the club's main attractions. The rules are simple. We play a game of poker using 2 decks of cards. That's all it is, a game. And our customers are happy. A pianist who can't play piano. Better than a defense attorney who can't defend. Wow! Unnecessary. Fucked up. Right, Your Honor. My first cross-examination. Don't blow it. Are you alright? You're sweating bullets. Bullets? Where? It's a figure of speech, Justice. Your voice sounds strained and raspy, too. My brain feels strained and raspy, sir. You've watched me perform cross-examinations many times. But you've never done one yourself, have you? Care for a refresher? What to do? Should I ask Mr. Gavin for a refresher course in cross-examination? No thanks, I've played enough of these games. No need for help here, sir. I think I've got this one covered. I think you'd better do more than think. You know it, or you do not. I'm fine. The cords of steel are ready for battle. My weapons, press, and present. I'm giving myself a tutorial anyway. Find any inconsistencies, any lies in the testimony, and reveal them to the court. That is cross-examination. Learn it, know it, do it. Inconsistencies? Lies? Phoenix Wright? As if. Phoenix Wright would never lie, and it's up to me to prove it. I'm a pianist by trade. Wait, no, that's the wrong button. A press! You can hardly play. No, I play sometimes, when customers demand it. So I play them one song. That's usually all they want. Was that supposed to be a boast just now? The title of pianist is just a mask, a respectable face I wear for the world at large. And why are you really at the Borscht Bowl Club? My real job is to take on interested customers over the poker table. They pay you just to play poker? That would seem to be the case. I am a professional, after all. Do I just detect pride in that statement? It's just hard for an honest, hard-working member of society like me to imagine. Yes, your imagination was always a bit limited, Winston. Just like your hair! I played poker for 7 years in that little room, and I've never lost once. You see why the customers come now? Defeat the undefeated poker champion. It's quite a draw. That is, I'm quite a draw. Wait, you've never lost once? Not even one time? As I said, I'm a professional. He's played poker for 7 years and not lost once? Is that even possible? The room where we play and the competition in there are the club's main attractions. The room in the crime scene photo is an attraction? It has quite a history, actually. The Borscht Bowl Club used to be a gathering spot for black market types back in the day. Black market? All in the past. Things like the black market are only on the silver screen nowadays. Suffice it to say, There were a lot of deals being made under the table. Right there in that room. Smoky room, gambling hoods. You know, just looking at this picture makes me feel bad. The bosses gathered around the table, cutting deals, safe from the eyes of the law. Meanwhile, a goon keeps watch through the small window. I can practically picture it now. That window does look like it would be good for keeping a lookout but for little else. For keeping a lookout but little else. The room had a few other tricks to it. It was common knowledge to our regulars. At any rate, they come to play poker in a room steeped in history. Despite the dark past, it wasn't all just good, clean fun. 2 decks of cards. 2 decks of cards? A simple measure to prevent cheating. If you alternate 2 decks, no one can slip in cards. There's something else I noticed. In addition to the cards on the table, there's some lying scattered on the floor. Precisely. Cards on the table, cards upon the floor, each one forming a complete deck. Crime scene painted in blue by a sad sweep of cards. It's poetic, really. Incidentally, we used 2 types of cards at the club. One deck of cards was red, the other blue. As I recall, in poker you make 5-card hands. I can see how it would be easy to cheat. Yes, a game of hands. What did he mean by hands? This competition you're talking about. I believe the court understands the nature of the game sufficiently. That's right! It was a simple game, after all. Are you sure? People are not murdered over simple games, Mr. Justice. Defendant, you were in the room the very moment the crime occurred. Yet you claim no connection to the crime. Now that's strange. What's strange? I was testifying about the competition that night. Asking me about the crime at this point is against the rules, Your Honor. Of course, I expected to hear a cry of objection from the defense. I completely let that one slip by. Don't despair yet, Justice. Sir? Right. There's something I'd like to make clear. Namely, your connection to the case at hand. And I'd like to hear it from you. Sure. Why not? Very well. The defendant will amend his testimony. Just one little press. I've got myself a whole new testimony. I plead silence regarding the murder, but I will say I never touched the murder weapon. Don't forget the press. Time to listen to that testimony again. Silence? The defendant has the right to refuse to testify. I haven't forgotten everything about the law. Why? That clearly puts you at a disadvantage. And it's your job to turn that around in our favor, yes? Great. I didn't have enough to do already. Justice, didn't you detect anything odd about that testimony? Wait, something he said he did ring a little strangely. Just one thing. Now, what was it? Evidence that contradicts the testimony. Is there a fast way to scroll text other than just mashing? Maybe. I'll find it soon enough. Let's see. Present. You. Objection! So you say you didn't touch the murder weapon. This grape juice bottle? And this grape juice bottle, right? So I said. Something the matter, Mr. Justice? Too bad our new defense attorney never learned how to play dumb. What's this, Mr. Payne? I examined the bottle in question, you see. And it was covered with the defendant's fingerprints. Gasp! Objection! No need to shout, Mr. Justice. I can hear you just fine. Excess yelling can damage the judge's ears. And our case. What about my cords of steel? Anyway, what's so strange about fingerprints on a bottle in a restaurant? Well, that's true. No, they wouldn't prove a thing if they were normal fingerprints. But the fingerprints on the murder weapon were upside down. What does that mean? It means he was holding the bottle inverted. And there can be only one reason for that. He has a very interesting style of pouring grape juice. Yes. To brain someone with the bottle. Mr. Gavin? I think things just took a turn for the worse. No? I see no problem, Justice. Huh? The only thing that matters is the truth. There's a good reason for everything. You'll see. Defendant! Can you explain your fingerprints on this bottle to the court? I stand by my plea of silence regarding the murder. For now. Not very cooperative, are you? This could hurt your case. I'm sure he's uncooperative because he's hiding something. There must be some reason. Objection! Your Honor, you seem to have forgotten something. And what might that be, Mr. Gavin? On the night of the crime, who was it who reported the murder to the police? Reported? Well, that was the defendant, Mr. Wright, but still that... Really? Yes, well, according to the case file, the murder was reported from near the scene by a call from the defendant's cell phone. Near the scene? Let's take a look at the diagram of the murder scene, shall we? Yo, more evidence for me! The victim was murdered in a small room in a basement, 2 floors down from ground level. Of course, cell phones can't get reception so far down. The defendant used the stairs in this hallway to go above ground. The call came from the first floor of the restaurant. I see, and this is the phone that made the call. Still using that old thing. The defendant could have just fled the scene of the crime if he so chose. Yet, he fulfilled his duty as a citizen and reported it to the authorities. Riz CG, hey back, welcome. And you claim he is being uncooperative? Nice save, Mr. Gavin. Better not waste this. I think the prosecution has toyed with our client enough for the time being. Toyed? I assure you, no one is more serious about... What was it that you said? The defendant was in the room the very moment the crime occurred? How can you possibly know this? That's a good question. How indeed? The answer is simple, Your Honor. The prosecution has a decisive witness. You're as good as you say they are. You're as good as they say you are. So someone else was in the room the night of the crime. That must mean they witnessed the crime. Everything up till now has been a warm-up, Justice. Are you ready? Very well. The prosecution may call its first witness to the stand. I. The witness will state her name and profession. Where's the witness? Your eyes are terrible, Your Honor. I surmise she'd been frightened by the defense's demonic-looking horns. What? So I used a little hair gel. Relax, people! Have no fear. If any horns point in your direction, this court will cut them off. You are sure? I swear it on my gavel. Please, come out. Isn't violence against hair a crime, Your Honor? Well, if you're sure it's okay. Now, the prosecution... Wait a minute! Would the prosecution care to explain the witness's... paraphernalia? Yes, she is a professional. She is a professional. She is a professional, Your Honor. Those are merely the tools of her trade. And that would be. My name is Olga Orly. God, is it the fucking owl? Is it Olga O'Reilly? I'm gonna be reading it as Olga O'Reilly because that's oh god, that's around this time period. My name is Olga O'Reilly. I'm employed as a waitress in the Borscht Bowl Club restaurant. Then why the camera? Yeah, that's vintage. Don't say that. Of course, it is my pride to serve borscht that is naming. It is my pride to serve borscht that is naming restaurant. Okay, Russian accent. But I also perform, how is it said, other service. I take it one of these other services is taking the customer's pictures? Da. Like, for example, this one. Why is there snow indoors? That's the defendant! Indeed. On the night of the murder, the man in the white hat is one who has gone kaput. I know the O'Reilly, but is it a reference to something else? What's the owl? So the O'Reilly. So back in the day, there were just a bunch of funny images with like captions, and O'Reilly was the one that was tied specifically to the owl most often, and it was the owl like face aback, beak opens like but that's an old one. Anyway, the one who has gone kaput. Indeed, that is the victim. This is quite a piece of evidence to casually drop into our laps. I was around for that shish. Congratulations, you are also old. The same way I drop cold bowls of borscht on laps of customers. Casually. And the court will casually accept this new evidence. Don't worry, we're all old here. Now, witness, where were you at the time of the murder? I was in the room. The hideout, we call it. Excuse me, the hideout? This room where famous gangster bad guy... This room where famous gangster bad guy was arrested. This room where murder took place. You look of utter surprise. It is lovely. I will post by courtroom door later for you. Photos will be numbered, and you will write which ones you want copy of. 3 people. The victim, Shady Smith, Mr. Wright, and Olga O'Reilly, our witness. Fucking famous bad guy named Bad Guy. But was he a bad guy? Just because you are a bad guy does not mean you are a bad guy. Soul bad guy, GG. Can't believe Soul is dead in this world. That night, customer asked me to deal cards for game. It was cold. Both players played with hats on, The victim, he plays whole time with his hand on locket at his neck. Then, last hand is done, but something terrible has happened, That man flew at victim and is strangling him to death. Strangling? Incidentally, who won the game? Isn't it obvious? The winner was the victim, Mr. Smith. Objection! That's ridiculous! Because Mr. Wright can't lose! Justice? Maybe you can come up with a more legitimate objection. But he hadn't lost in 7 years! Take it from me, kid. It happens. Sometimes you lose every single case that you're in, and then everybody wonders why you're still a prosecutor. Got some evidence here. Okay, so the red chips are just smaller rather than just being color-coded. These are the poker chips as they lay the very moment of the crime. The hand and chips on this side belong to the defendant, Mr. Wright. These on the far right, on the far side belong to the victim, Mr. Smith. Chips, you say? Delicious! Nah, I mean, yes! Imagine that poker is war. Your hand is your army, and the chips are the spoils. I know that! After all, in my youth, I was known as the poker head of courtroom number 3. I thought poker was gambling and highly illegal, Judge. Alright, but what if we were to take a look at the court record real quick? 4 chips, a black chip. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh, yeah, that's consistent. Anyway, we already know the answer. Strangled to death, huh? Oh, really? Oh. Do I speed through this because I already know the answer? Now let's humor her a little bit. You were dealing cards. Do you do this often? Da, I am doing this. The customer wishes it. I serve anything. Borscht, cards, more borscht, photos. It is my work. Work? That's wrong region entirely. It's my work. I haven't forgotten the meaning of service. Welcome you to Borscht Bowl Club, where borscht is as warm as the waitress. Owl faces. So you too are old, Konagami. It's already April. How could it be cold? At Borscht Bowl Club, we have pride on authentic rustic Russian restaurant theme. Outside it is city in spring, but inside it is always as cold as Mother Russia. No way am I going in there. When it comes to hot borscht, cold is best seasoning, da? The victim, he plays whole time with his hand on locket at his neck. His locket? Good luck charm. Many times he played that night. Let's take a quick look, actually. His locket, huh? And it's gone right now. And of course, Phoenix is currently wearing it. The defense would like a clarification. This is a locket we're talking about? I mean, a pendant with a picture in it, right? Not a rocket. Of course, I knew that! It's probably a pendant shaped like a rocket. That's why she called it that. No, a locket's a locket. Doesn't matter what shape it is. It's considered bad form to poke at the hard of hearing in our society. Hard of hearing or hard of understanding? Something terrible has happened, Da. Da. Something terrible! The defendant will refrain from needless shouting and pointing horns at the witness. Anyway. Objection! Oh, really? Oh, really? Strangled, you say? That's odd. Normal customers only choke on borscht. No, I mean this report shows that the victim died of a blow to the head. Miss O'Reilly! Really now? Did you witness the crime? Ooh. Talent. Looking at the picture, it doesn't seem like he was hit. He's still wearing his hat and everything. Yet it is a fact that he was hit, Your Honor. Here's a photo we took of the victim with his hat off during our investigation. Oh, that's quite shocking, isn't it? The head certainly was hit. Hat removed during investigation. I've seen it happen. The defendant, he lunged the victim, his neck. Oh, really, Miss O'Reilly? I think I've caught you in your own lie this time. Justice, I admire your enthusiasm, but perhaps you should think this through once more. What do you mean? I found a contradiction. There's one thing in her testimony that troubles me. There's such a thing as thinking too much. This horse is dead, let's stop eating it. There's such a thing as thinking aloud too much, too. Yeah, let's just...
Objection!
Nope. Damn. Hand lock it on his neck, and it was done, but something terrible has happened. The defendant tried to struggle with the victim. He was hit him with the bottle. Oh, okay, you changed this testimony.
Hold it!
You didn't say anything about hitting him before. I must be forgetting this, You will take greater care with your testimony. He changed his mind and chose a simpler, blunter means to do the job. Yes, that sums it up nicely. So he strangled him then. So he strangled him, then hit him? Something's fishy about all this. Go ahead. I believe you know what it is you need to do. Is there... I mean, there's no mark on the, Oh, I guess they gave me a new image of him without a locket. Yeah, screw you, game.
Objection!
I'm sure both would work. Oh. I guess I should go back to the other one mentioning lock-in and present that one. I mean, there's no strangulation marks. So, that's not what they care about. Alright. Let's try this, where it's very clear he doesn't have the locket on.
Objection!
There we go. First one shows that he doesn't have the locket either. You care to explain what it is you're thinking so intensely about? Recall the testimony, Your Honor. The victim played with his locket, his hand on locket at his neck, I believe she said. I hope you aren't about to raise an objection to the witness's grammar. No, but look at this photograph. Look at the photograph! Every time I do, it makes me wonder where the locket is. Well done, Justice. I'm impressed. I knew you'd be able to handle this. But what does it mean? If we are to believe this witness's testimony as is, then the locket disappeared following the victim's death. Lockets don't just disappear, Your Honor. It's quite simple when you think about it. If the locket is gone, Someone must have taken it off, no? Taken it off? Wait, you don't mean... The defendant wasn't strangling the victim at all. He was taking off his locket. Wouldn't that explain it? Why would you help pain like this? Because now it's murder and theft. Say, yes? I just noticed this, but you have something hanging around your neck, don't you? Yeah, it's a locket. Oh, you mean this? Yeah, it's a locket. With a photograph inside. A photo of my daughter. Come again? Mr. Wright, you have a daughter? We confirmed it at the time of the arrest. The picture in the locket is indeed Mr. Wright's daughter. So Mr. Wright has a locket too. Why would I buy that this is just a coincidence? Well now, if the results of the poker game led to the murder, perhaps we should hear a bit more about the outcome of the game. Or the testimony won't really be necessary. It's clear the defendant lost badly. So really, you will testify to the court about the game played between the victim and the defendant. Serious competition. The game began with 3,500 points in chips for each man. House chips come in two sizes, small and large. The one who is winning, it was the victim. The last hand, defendant played with all chips on table and loose. The moment the loss was decided, defendant grabs bottle from table and... kaput. Indeed, looking at this picture, it does seem to be a one-sided game. As the court knows, poker was the defendant's life. Failure must have been a bitter pill to swallow. How many times have I heard those words? These words. I done it in a fit of anger, Your Honor. Oh, hold on. Now I regret what I had done. Common tale, but true. He thinks the judge watches too many old court movies. Mr. Wright said he hasn't lost in 7 years. This testimony must be wrong. This testimony must be wrong. This testimony must be wrong. That's more like it.
Hold it!
Here to tell me the point value of each chip. No, not special. Usual game, usual rules. 7,000. Well done, Judge. Well done. It's not even long division. ... Kristoff is still trying to count up the point total in his mind.
Hold it!
So let's see, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 large chips and 6 small chips. Kinda weird numbers. Would that mean the small chips are 500s? And the large chips would be 50s? Yeah, let's talk about chips. What's your favorite kind of chip? Mine is sea salt vinegar. Wow! Poker chips are poker chips. Look at that face. They're not fish and chips, not a chip off the old block. Not a motorcycle cop. Why a motorcycle cop? Why'd you bring that up? Okay, let's turn off that autoplay. What are these chips worth? Are they in dollars? Or rubles, even? Niet. Niet. As I have been saying before, it was a game, not gambling. But perhaps for a capitalist to understand. 2 types of chip. 100 points chip and 1,000 point chip. Oh, right, they were... I'm stupid. They were, They both had 3,500 and 7,000 total, so yeah, it's me being stupid. Justice? You find our comment interesting. Sure. Two kinds and all. So if we check this real quick. 1,000 point chips. So the red chips must be 1,000. Yeah. And then the 10 gray chips are 100s. Let's just press it. To be honest, I have no idea why. Do the court a favor and think of what you want to say before raising your hand. You're not in kindergarten. Sorry, I'm fine. I better think of something to ask. Quick. The two types of chips. The small ones are 100 and the big one's 1,000. Right? Right, of course. Someone can't add. Oh, Justice? Please try not to embarrass me like that. Who? Me? There's a clear contradiction in the information you have in your hands. It's a simple matter of calculation. Go on, try it. We're not in kindergarten, after all. Calculation? Anyway, I guess we're gonna say that the chips are the wrong size if this is the case.
Objection!
You're sure it was the victim who won? Absolutely sure? It seems our new attorney is a bit confused. A glance at this picture is enough to tell you who won. If you're not in kindergarten. Just for safety's sake, could you explain the problem to the court? Of course, Your Honor. In this photo, I see small chips and I see large chips. Tell me, which were worth 1,000 points? Why, the big ones, of course. Duh, I'm not in kindergarten. Oh, I thought so too. But then the totals don't add up. The totals? Let's review what the witness told us. Each man started with 3,500 points in chips, and the combined total value of the chips was 7,000 points. Yes, if my calculations are correct, let's see, 3 plus 1, carry the 5. They are, Your Honor. Now, look at this photo that allegedly shows all the chips. If the big chips are worth 1,000 points and the small chips are worth 100, and you add them up, how much is it? I'm in kindergarten, please tell me! Do it yourself. You aren't in kindergarten, are you? 10,600 points. The chips don't add up. This clearly contradicts the witness's testimony. But why? How could this be? Exactly, Justice. Now that you know the what, you must determine the why. Right. There's only one possible way to explain this contradiction. Starting points were wrong! Both were right! Chip count was wrong! I mean, each man began the game with 3,500 points. If all the chips are indeed shown in this photograph, then there can only be one answer. There can be only one answer. Well, what is it? The value of the chips was the other way around. What? Want to know what I think? The small chips were worth 1,000 points, not the big ones. Madness! Utter madness! Why? That does make 7,000 points when you add them up. Counting. Excellent work, Justice. It's almost as though you figured it out all by yourself. Well, fuck you too. I'm glad I graduated from kindergarten. Somebody's texting me. What in the world? Wait! The value of the chips may be different, but that changes nothing! Are you sure? Oh! Wait! Points! Points mean something! Small chips are 1,000 points, and the large chips are 100. Let's do a little math. Add the points for each side of the table. Ugh! The victim, Mr. Smith, had 2,900 points, and the defendant had 4,100! Well now, it seems that Mr. Wright was winning the night after all. That's impossible! My client had even less reason to kill the victim. After all, he was winning! Ugh! Yarg! Now, Miss O'Reilly, you must have known the true value of the chips, since you were there at the scene of the crime. Weren't you? Oh, I thought that was like the borscht soup, but that looked like a lobster in there. Maybe it was just the trailing liquid that looked like the antenna of a lobster. Oh well. Has lost his motive, and Mr. Wright's supposed defeat never happened. Looked like a lobster to you too? Yeah, okay, good, I'm not insane. Who? Excuse me? What is it, Miss O'Reilly? I did not want to be saying this, but actually, you see... See what, Miss O'Reilly? What do we see? In the last hand, there was cheat. Cheat? You don't mean a trick? Wait, or do you mean a scam? They're all the same thing. Yes, there was cheat in the last hand. That's why game ends with chips as they are. Great, just great. First we have lying, now cheating. Well, this case has certainly taken a turn. For the interest... Well, this case certainly has taken a turn. For the interesting. Witness, you will please testify to the court. Tell us about this cheating in the final hand. Alright. I got to address this text that I just got, so I'm gonna take a quick break. It's been 1 hour anyway, so it's about time. Be right back.